Like, let's say this guy's awesome, but this guy actually treats customers like crap. Guess what happens to all of your shared customers?
The man, Brunson.
So anyone in Frank Kern's groups? So apparently he told me, and he texts me every single time he says it, everything bad that happens to every single marketer in every single business, he tells them to blame it on Brunson. So apparently there's a hashtag blame it on Brunson. So if your ad account gets shut down, you blame it on Brunson. If you're not making enough money, you blame it on Brunson. And he like laughs at it and sends me a link every single day, every time he says something like that. So I feel justified stealing his content. So there you go. No, I asked him if I could share this with you guys, and he said yes. It's powerful. This takes like this Dream 100 concept and everything to a whole nother level. Okay, so I'm gonna explain it the best I can, and what this concept is, it's called creating your syndicate. So for you to understand the concept of a syndicate, there's a couple core foundational pieces you gotta understand. The very first thing is you have to understand, one of the problems that all of us have is we have this misguided belief that our customer's our customer, right? I'm the only person, and so we have this like protective barrier. It's like, they're just my customer, right? And so the problem, like to make this work, you have to understand like your customer's not just your customer, right? And so you start thinking about that. The second thing you gotta start thinking about, and this is stuff we've talked about earlier today, is you look at your customer. All of our customers are going through this customer journey, right? And so you're thinking about this, like when somebody comes into my world and they're buying funnels, it's usually not the first thing that they're learning about, right? Like I'm not really like the front end person, right? So my customers coming to this world, where are all the places this is happening? Who are all the people? And then what's the structure, right? What's the very first thing that they are being exposed to and introduced to, right? They might have learned how to make an online course. Maybe it's like run a Facebook ad, right? What's the product or the service or the person they bought from initially that brought them into this world? Who's targeting and focusing on the beginners, right? Okay, and I look at my Dream 100 and I think, okay, this is that person. They're doing, like this person is focusing on beginners, right? So like Stephen Larson, for example, has been focusing a lot more on like the beginner side of the market with like showing network marketers how to use funnels. I'm like, cool, have those customers. After you've convinced them funnels are the greatest thing in the world, over here, I want to take them and convince them to shift network marketing to like changing the world, right? Then after that, then what's the next phase? Who are all the people in this customer's life journey that they're going to be learning from, right? Every single step before me, and then also the steps after me, okay? And so I'm mapping that. I'm looking at who are the actual people that are selling those things. And so I'm making this like timeline of my customer's experience, and I map it out and have all these people here, right? Like we're trying to build a syndicate, and the way the syndicate works, it starts right here, understanding like we're all serving the same customer, right? And we all want this customer to have a great experience and to succeed, right? But what if we came together and figured out how can we actually serve this person in a more holistic way? If you understand that and realize, man, how can we serve this person at the highest level? Let's all come together. And so what happens, you take these people, you take them around your customer. You said right now, if you think about it, each of these people is already marketing directly to this customer anyway. So we should create some kind of relationship, a syndicate, where we're also helping each other this way. This is how it works. How do you guys remember watching, this is probably, 5 or 6 years ago, when every single month there was a launch with Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, Jeff Walker, like it was this thing that was kind of crazy, right? You guys remember this? Those who are in the industry. So what happened, the precursor to this is they did this thing, explained this whole concept, said, look, this is the deal. Mike Filson, you target the beginners, right? Everyone needs your stuff so they can get into business. Then you make their first dollar online. After they've done that, the next thing needs to know how to persuasion. So I'm a persuasion guy. Then Ryan Dice is the traffic guy. And then we've got Jeff Walker is the product launch guy. And we have 4 or 5 people, and I think they had 6 people in their syndicate, right? And he said, instead of us all just marketing against each other and fighting all this stuff, so what if we came together and we figured out a launch calendar and we said, okay, look at this. This is our customer trying to serve them. How about this? In January of the year, Mike Filson's focused on the beginners. What if all of us promoted Mike's thing and got everybody on the same foundation so they bought Mike's thing? In March, we'll do the next person, which is like, okay, now they've got business started, now they need traffic or they need their funnel, whatever, right? And then March we do this, and then 2 months later everyone does this, and 2 months later everyone does this, 2 months later. And so throughout the calendar year, everyone's got a coordinated launch where all of the biggest people in the market who all have the customer base are all focusing on serving that customer the first step, and then the second step, and the third step, and the fourth step, and the fifth step, and so on and so forth. Okay, if you watch what happened over the next 3 years after they launched this syndicate, these guys literally sucked up the entire market. Those who were around during that time, you probably remember seeing it, right? Every 2 months there was a new launch. Everybody talked about it, and like all you saw in the marketplace was everyone talking about this person's launch. And every launch they did, like on the low end did $1 million, high end $5 or $6 million every single one. Okay, and so if you really want to take this Dream 100 strategy to the next level, you really want to dominate all the conversation in the marketplace, it's hard to do it by yourself, right? So find the partners, find the people, and then building out a syndicate kind of like this. And now you've got a whole bunch of people that you're working very, very close with to serve this customer at the highest level. Now, one thing I'd be really, really careful of, if any of the people you pick in here happen to be like a bad person, like let's say this guy's awesome, she's awesome, but this guy actually treats customers like crap, guess what happens to all of your shared customers? They're like, oh my gosh, this whole thing's a scam, and that customer leaves the ecosystem for forever. So I wanna make sure you're aware of that, because one bad apple inside of a syndicate can destroy your whole entire process, can get people to flee your marketplace, and can be really, really damaging, right? So make sure if you decide to do something like this, you're picking these people strategically to build it out. And that, you guys, is how you do the syndicate, which is the second phase of the Dream 100.